what can go wrong will go wrong.
Okay.
We checked everything and still, and the motor is going
So we're sailing right now, right?
Technically, yeah. What'd you say? What do you need?
The engine is overheated.
The engine is overheated? Did we just break the engine?
Maybe.
Are you serious? You guys may know overheating an engine, not the best for the engine. The engine is not turning over. They're towing us.
Yep.
They asked us to steer with the tiller.
Yep. Best marine tow in Blaine.
Yes, highly recommend.
Dreamboat Randy. Or Dreamboat Towing Captain Randy.
But I think the main takeaway is that I did all the sailing today.
You did, and you did a wonderful job.
And I caught the boat perfectly.
You did.
And I didn't freak out during any of it, did I?
You were awesome. Yeah.
Okay, so we have had someone check out our engine, and it was the impeller slipping. So we need to go get a replacement, and then we're gonna get two for just in case. Now, I was thinking from my research, trying to understand overheating of engines, that it might be the thermostat, the impeller. What was the other one? Oh, I guess that was just it. Impeller or thermostat. See? And according to the mechanic that was out there, overheating is rarely due to the thermostat not working properly, and the salt water input is also rare. So impeller, and that kind of goes on par for someone who is very not knowledgeable about mechanics or engines, being able to research a little bit on that specific engine and coming up with the three main things, which is the seacock, the impeller, or the thermostat. And the impeller was the first result from my search as well. So we're gonna go get a new one. I also wanted to show you guys that we are now keeping a maintenance log. I put all of this information where it tells us what we need to update and how long into a spreadsheet, which I will show here. The only unfortunate thing is that at some point they stopped updating the maintenance log, so we don't know how long it was since the last maintenance update. But now that I've got it in a spreadsheet and we've got a listing of what exactly we need to do and the timelines that it needs to happen, we're just gonna start at ground zero. We're gonna do all of it this season, and then I'm gonna plug in a formula and it'll let us know when we need to do the next upkeep maintenance things, and it will plug into a Google Calendar to remind us. So, and the best part about all this is that the engine is not destroyed, because overheating an engine can cause all kinds of havoc, and it didn't. So a mechanic coming out and identifying the issue and saying, hey, just go get this part and replace it, best case scenario. So we're gonna go to a boat supply store and go see how much we can get that part for. Looks like we came when there's a sale. Let's see. Fuel, holding tanks, vents, pumps, strainers, hose fitting, and fasteners. It's going to be either 11 or 12, I think. Oh wait, here's impellers. Right? Okay, so they did not have the right sized impaler here. The manual has the specific width that we need to get, so we know for a fact they don't have it here. I like these even though I don't need them. 25% off hiking socks. 2 pairs of wool socks for $20. Alright, so now we're going to try our hand at Tri-County Diesel Marine. Sales, service, and parts. Okay, so we got a new impeller. 2 of them, in fact. So for our Yanmar 2Q M15, one impeller at that location was $32. Not horrible. They had a little chart on their tabletop that said the part number that we needed in accordance with our engine number, but they had to backtrack it because this piece right here has its own part number, and these are from the 1980s, so there was a little bit of referencing one part number to another to find the exact one we need. Really simple. A lot of auto parts places do that as well, if you're familiar with that. We got into a fun little discussion about the engine that I was studying before this engine that we now have, which was an Evinrude, and that got into a whole fun discussion about Johnson and OMC, QMC. Anyway, we were laughing about how there's basically no manuals, there's no helpful repair system like Yanmar, because the entire Evinrude company switched into another company and like all of it went under. So there's no, like in the 2000s, so there's no follow-up on it. I also just decided to do a little quiz time on myself and talk about the replacement of parts and how often we should do it. And that got us into a discussion about how rubber corrodes. And I knew this, but it didn't click in my head until this discussion that rubber does corrode. Eventually it just goes bad. So every 2 years, even if the boat doesn't have hours on it using it, it just needs to be replaced. You also have to check the hoses because of the same reason where the rubber just corrodes. So a lot of people will just check on stuff depending on the hours of the boat, but anything rubber really has to be done seasonally just because of the fact that it's rubber. Sorry guys, I'm still learning. I'm trying to share you guys what I learn along the way. I'm not the most knowledgeable, but I'm showing you guys that even someone with limited knowledge can do this. It's just gonna take a little time. Ooh, so clean. What's this piece called?
It's just, I don't know, it's the impeller pump.
Impeller pump, okay. What's the string for?
So notice how that hole, or this here, so it spins, right, and it compresses this, which forces the water out, right? So it expands, picks up water, and then this compresses it and forces it out, right? And so the problem, so it's not a circle.
Yeah.
And so a way to do this is basically to take this string and use this to basically
bring them down, bend them down a little.
Bend them. So now you put that in there and get it lined up, get it forced.
Oh, I was thinking we need to buy a rubber mallet. Not a hammer, but a rubber mallet for repairs on the engine.
Problem is I need to put some force on this.
Editing Michelle here. I don't know where like a whole day of footage went, but for the sequence of events to make any sense, I need to fill you guys in real quick. So we got the impeller flush and inside the water pump housing. Still working on that terminology. And the engine still wasn't cooling. There was no pumping of the water happening. You guys didn't get to see the installation. You guys didn't get to see that water was getting forced into the bilge area because the water was not rotating, which led us to say we needed a mechanic back out again, because at that point, after troubleshooting the hoses and double checking the installation of the impeller, we did kind of suspect that it was the housing that was the issue, but we wanted a second opinion. There was like a list of 5 things that it possibly could be, and we were both pretty sure it was the housing, and our mechanic doesn't like to overcharge. He's a great mechanic. And yes, we needed a new water pump housing. It's a real shame that you guys didn't get to see that footage though, because you would see the troubleshooting process that we did. You guys also would have got to see our big Canary Mastiff getting on that boat for the first time, but the footage is gone. I spent like 7 hours trying to reclaim it. I don't know where it went. As is with most things in life, you just kind of got to roll with the punches on that. So just know that the next footage you guys are about to see, everything's already been fixed. Cool. It is September 6th. So roughly a month since we overheated our motor thanks to a faulty impeller. $1,000 later, and we're about ready to go sailing again. We're gonna go sailing tomorrow. We just need to check the motor today, make sure everything's running, get everything cleaned up on the boat. So we're gonna run the motor for roughly about 25 minutes because that's about how long it's gonna take us to get where we want to be on the bay. Who did we use as the mechanic? So out here in Blaine, we used Don at North County Marine. His service fees were amazing. So highly recommend him. He got us fixed up. A new impeller housing for a Yanmar 2QM15 runs roughly about $600. You shouldn't have to replace it except for like every 60 years, but boats be breaking. So it is what it is. We had to replace the housing. Hopefully that won't have to happen again for quite a while. And the little impeller rubber piece every 2 years-ish. And that's just because corrosion. So fingers crossed everything is working great today, and then we can go sailing tomorrow. Before starting the engine, what is the checklist? It is check the oil.
Check the oil. We make sure the seacock is open.
Okay.
Battery on.
Battery on.
Keys in hand.
Nothing else?
That's it.
Okay. spurt, spurt. Well, not like that. It goes spurt, spurt, spurt. So far we're good. We're gonna let this run for about 25 minutes. 25 minutes down, everything ran perfectly. The engine, cool to touch. So with that, we're going sailing today. Or at least we should be. Today is supposed to be 7 knots of wind with gusts up to 16. Really perfect sailing weather, especially for this boat. The problem is that I am having really bad anxiety for some reason. Now, those of you who have been watching for a while, you guys will know I am a huge scaredy cat about pretty much everything, and I usually can overcome it. But some days my anxiety just skyrockets and there's no rhyme or reason for it. It just happens, and I'm having one of those days where it kind of feels like I can't overcome it, but we're gonna try. To explain the issue I'm very nervous around the backing up of our boat and the pulling back into the slip. So our old boat was a PY23, it had an outboard motor, and the slip that we had 4 cleats, and I knew exactly where on that old boat to catch which cleat for a nice, easy, coming in docking thing. It took some practice, and I finally got it, and now this is a new boat, less cleat locations, and I'm just not that comfortable with it yet. This is an inboard motor, so in theory this should be a heck of a lot easier because there's not a whole bunch of like looking backwards and trying to finagle with the tiller and the motor and reversing and all that. It should be, you look straight ahead, you move the tiller, and down there is where you tell it to reverse and go forward. So in theory this should be a lot easier. I just know my part has changed and I'm not comfortable with it. I also don't know how to run up and along this boat quickly yet. So usually I'm ready with a fender to put it between the boat and anything we might hit. I'm not really that good at running up and down this boat yet. So I'm getting a little nervous, I'm getting in my head. So Steven and I are gonna practice me catching the slip. That's one of the things we did on the old boat to help me get comfortable, is we untie all the lines except for one. He's got a hold of one line just to make sure everything's controlled, and then I've got the catch line, and we're just gonna push the boat back and forth and see my catching capabilities. So if I can feel confident about that, we will go sailing today. Steven is a really great partner because he's not putting any pressure on me to go sailing even though he really wants to. It's just really nice to have a partner that I can communicate my fears and anxiety about, and me not feeling comfortable and him willing to make adjustments while still pushing me to try harder. So that's what we're gonna do. And I have a new camera, an Insta360 One X2. I'm gonna hook this up. I don't know if you guys will be able to hear very well because I don't know how the mic works on this. So, you know, I'm gonna try and get a good angle with this guy. This should get the best angles of what we're doing, but I fear it's not gonna be the best audio. So, ooh, bee, please stop. What the fuck? Okay, bee. Why are there always bees on the water? It's so weird. Anyway, we're gonna try this, and please bear with me on the audio issue if there is one. I'll do my best. This rope.
You got it. You got it. You got it. I know sometimes life can be tough, and you feel like you just had enough. When you're thinking everything is gone wrong, just remember that I'm here to cheer you on. Yeah, I wanna pick you up from the ground, let you know that I'm always around, 'cause I know we can make it.
All right, so we are not going sailing today. We're going sailing tomorrow. Sailing is supposed to be fun. I'm supposed to be learning stuff. I feel like we got a good system with catching the boat, which is kind of what I was freaking out about. I'm just not in the right headspace today. You know, sometimes you have to do stuff that you aren't in the right headspace to do. Today is not one of those days, especially because I have a wonderful partner who empathizes with some of my struggles. So we're still gonna work on this. Still plenty of opportunity to learn. Just want to be kind of in a better headspace to do that. So let's try this again. All right, so take 2. We are back out here the very next day and we will be sailing. I'm feeling a lot better. I don't know what yesterday was about. I just was having an anxiety day. And to that I will say there are 2 main things that you really want to pay attention to before heading out on the water, and that is the weather and the people on the boat. They're not all the main factors, but those are 2 of the main. And I was one of the people on the boat that was in charge of certain things, and I was not going to be good at my job yesterday. I know my limits. I'm working to push them further. I'm gonna have to if I'm gonna live on a boat, because there won't be days where you're just like, I don't feel like it. Things will just have to be done. But that's why we plan for a long-term plan. Get me comfortable so that on the days where I'm feeling a little off, I'll still feel confident in what I'm doing. So that's the plan today. Get some more practice in.
He's so cute.
Hey, you couldn't see it coming. You might have thought it, but you couldn't change it. Hey, it's not right or wrong. It's about trying, find the silver lining. Rain and fire, highs and lows, you name it. Cold and warmth, laughs and cries, you have it. The world goes by, and by the time it does, you missed it. You didn't see it, flew by. 'Cause time's not waiting for me or you. You will miss it if you don't catch it in time. In time. Say yes, rather than no. Don't let your fears lead. Light is at your feet. Yes, regret is worse than failing. Keep the loved ones close, close enough. Rain and fire, highs and lows, you name it. Cold and warmth, laughs and cries, you have it. The world goes by, and by the time it does, you missed it. You didn't see it, flew by. 'Cause time's not waiting for me or you. You will miss it if you don't catch it in time. In time. In time.
Right, so not great wind. I'm so sweaty. But we got the boat in and we got the boat out. Or yeah, out and in. That was the main goal for today. Horrible wind, but we sailed her. And we'll keep going at it, right? That's it. Bye!
In time. In time.
This rope is just like too fucking big for these.
Yeah, this one I was trying to